Greetings. We are in the lab. No, we're not in the lab. We are in Justice League headquarters. We're in the JL Justice League headquarters here. And so, again, this is another special segment of Run Tell That. And all the time, all our people are all special. And so we got our people joining us. They're coming in right now. Some of them y'all know. Some of y'all know them. And some you might not know. But y'all know all our guests are special guests. And we got with us Dr. Tom Moriarty, glad to have you with us here. Then also, we check this out, and he's in the Port City. But guess what? We got Coastal Georgia all in the house right now. We got Sister Anita Collins, Representative Anita Collins of the Gullah Geechee Nation right here out of Brunswick, Glenn County, Georgia. Then we got the one, the only, the one who represents Glenn County, and also McIntosh County. He's St. Simon and Sapelo, our brother, Commissioner Jazz Watts. Glad to have y'all with us. And so,
glad to be here.
Thank you for having us.
And again,
thank you.
Go ahead, Sister Nee. What you about to say?
Thank you.
All right. So, what some of y'all what we're gonna be talking about tonight is involving a study. But we're gonna do this right here. You know, normally I was gonna throw the videos out. I do that for Ebony Sports Reporters. But here, I think it's something relevant because what we're going to be talking about this evening, and we said all y'all share.
Though Black Americans make up 13% of the United States population, we account for 35% of patients with kidney failure. And for many, dialysis has become the norm, but it doesn't have to be that way. Chronic kidney disease is a silent killer. Most patients don't even know they're in the late stages of kidney failure until they're suddenly told that they need dialysis or a kidney transplant. And you wonder what happened or how they got there. And at that stage, it's irreversible. The two most common causes of chronic kidney disease are diabetes and hypertension or high blood pressure. Managing your high blood pressure and diabetes, along with eating healthy and exercising regularly, you can minimize your risk for chronic kidney disease and stay away from dialysis. It's important to advocate for yourself at the doctor's office. If you have diabetes and high blood pressure, make sure you're asking if your kidney function needs to be checked. Bergen County, New Jersey chapter of the Links Incorporated and the Black Care Initiative wants to empower you with this information about chronic kidney disease so that you can improve your quality of life and possibly even save your life.
And that was sent to me because someone else was going to join us, and that's Representative Glenda Simmons-Jenkins out of North Florida for the Gullah Geechee Nation. She sent that to me this morning because she can't make it because she's traveling back from Savannah, going back to North Florida because there was an aquaculture conference here she was participating in. So she's like, hey, because I sent her the information too, and she said if I could be there, but she sent that. And so what we got to do, y'all know Jazz is one of our great stalwart supporters of Ron Tell That, one of our great guests. Y'all know him. But then also, you know, Sister Nita's been on before too. But then we got Dr. Moriarty. Who are you?
Well, my name's Tom Moriarty. I'm a family practitioner here in Savannah, Georgia. Got a wife and two kids, son Tom and daughter Erica, wife Lilia. And I've been practicing in Savannah for about 15 years. I work over at South Coast Medical Group and love treating the Savannah community.
All right. And he has a connection to some people. And one of them, you know, used to have a segment on Ron Tell That, but he's so busy. And who's that person? Because in fact, some of y'all probably know, because remember he had a conversation, one of his segments was involving this very thing tied to diabetes and other issues with regard to that. And who's that person that you know, Dr. Moriarty?
Sam Carter.
That's right. Coach Carter.
Coach Carter.
Yes, indeed. Now, Sister Nita, you want to throw anything out there about you with regards to yourself? If you want to do that, but you know, some people have seen you before, know you, but if you want to throw it out there, because I don't want no issue with none of the people in Brunswick who are checking the show out.
Well, I am interested in what I will learn tonight.
And the reason that I'm interested is because I have family members who have a chronic disease known as diabetes and hypertension. I have friends also diagnosed with diabetes and hypertension. And some are even on dialysis. And what I noticed, one of the things that I noticed is the proliferation of dialysis centers, not just in Brunswick, but all around. And so many of those patients look like me. And I'm like, why is that? What is okay? I don't go along with, oh well, my mom had diabetes, so that's why I have it, or my mom had hypertension, and that's why I have it. So they're from my perspective, I want to know more about it. So far, I have neither, and don't plan to have either of them. But whatever information that we can share with those we love and care about to try to help stem the continuing rise in these chronic conditions is extremely important to all of us.
Yes.
That's what we're going to be getting into, because I was just doing the quick introduction when y'all do a quick introduction. So, Brother Jazz, anything you want to say? Because people saw you, I think, last month. And so, again, you doing the word constantly for us, for Gullah Geechee people. And some of this, what we're going to be talking about, is pertaining to Gullah Geechee people. And y'all are two of the key people for folks in coastal Georgia that now link up to what we're going to be talking about with Dr. Moriarty. Commissioner Jazz Watts.
Yeah, no, thank you, Dr. Torre. For me, it's more than an important issue. Just like Sister Anita was saying, we live on the coast, and we've got these dialysis centers and everything else that are surrounding us. I have family members that do have diabetes. So I here tonight. I want to definitely learn more, and I want to learn what are some things that we could do, or how this study might be able to help others in, those who may have diabetes, how to manage the chronic illness, and what does that mean for them? I'm also on the board of an organization called Coastal Community Health, the board chair there, and even right now, and Sister Anita and I are part of a group that is, supporting the community as they're looking at, even how contaminants have impacted their body. So, this is very important. And I hope it can serve as a conduit for others to not only learn, but to be able to, participate in this study in a way that it can help families, help people to learn more, to have more knowledge about it, and to be able to manage as well. So thank you so much for having me. So.
And that's the reason why, because you all play a crucial role with regards to this and making a connect with other places that now Tom can go to other places and begin to share this information so other folks will become a part of it, so we can go and address this. Because some of y'all know, at one time in the 70s and the 80s, this area, coastal Georgia, was called the stroke capital. We were called the stroke capital. That's that was us. That's our experience here. And
True.
we're going to talk about sickle cell. That again, with regards to that we look at some things that is connected to our genetic experience, that now we need to play a role with regards to trying to help alleviate what the two of y'all were saying. And so that's why now what we're going to throw it over to you, Tom. What's going on? And also these people, before you leave, we're going to make sure you have their information so that way you can connect with them and now reach out to them. And just like what Commissioner Watson, what Jazz said, they have a base right there in Brunswick right now, in Glenn County and coastal Georgia, that can help. So throwing the ball in your court right now.
Excellent. Look forward to that. So, basically, I wanted to come on the show tonight, and I thank you for having me on. I just wanted to try to raise some awareness about a particular type of chronic kidney disease that is very impactful in African Americans. And And this is a genetic mediated chronic kidney disease. The reason it's impactful for African Americans is that this gene that we're talking about is called APOL1. And this gene is inherited, and it's the variant that we're talking about that causes this specific type of chronic kidney disease initially started, the mutation started when in Central and Western African individuals as a protective mechanism against African sleeping sickness. And so while there is a protective mechanism for that, that's great. But when you have a mother and a father that each have this variant of the gene, and then they have children that have this, then that puts the children at higher risk for this chronic kidney disease. And what this APOL1 gene does is it makes the filtering cells of the kidneys leaky, and they start to spill out protein. And this gene causes an influx of salt into the cells and water and chloride, and it causes the cells to swell, and then they die off. And so what you get is basically a progressive decline in kidney function and an increase in the amount of protein that's being spilled in the urine as the kidney function declines. And this can result in the need for a dialysis or kidney transplant. And right now, the medicines that we have to treat this, and it's a condition called, it's a mouthful, it's focal sclerosing glomerulosclerosis. Basically, these little filtering cells kind of get scarred down. The medicines we have right now there are certain types of blood pressure medicines we can do. There's water pills that we can do, diuretics, and then there's also steroids that we can use to decrease the inflammation. But it doesn't stop the disease process. It just kind of slows down the decline. And so I work with a company called Javara Research. We do clinical trials. And one of the pharmaceutical companies that we're working with is called Vertex. And Vertex, they developed a therapy for patients that have cystic fibrosis. And this enhanced their lifespan by probably 25, 30 years. They have 2 or 3 drugs out there that were real game changers in these patients' lives. And so they're kind of they look for these kind of rare diseases, and they try to focus in on therapeutic treatments for them. And the medication that we're doing in the study called inaxaplin, it helps to basically block this APOL1 gene, so the cells don't swell, they don't die off, and then the kidney function doesn't decline, and you don't spill protein in the urine. So I really want to just kind of come on so I could just raise awareness of this particular type of kidney disease, because it does affect about 16% of the African American population. And roughly 40% of African Americans that are on dialysis have APOL1 mediated chronic kidney disease. So it's a significant disease, and we have a way to screen for it. It's a quick little swab in the mouth, and it can tell you if you have the gene variant. And if you have one, it's not a big deal. But if you have 2 or more, then that's when it can cause the disease and chronic kidney disease. And so it's helpful to know not only for that individual, but for their parents, their kids, their brothers, their sisters, and that alerts them that they need to get tested. And if they are positive, then they need, their doctor needs this information, their primary care doctor or their kidney doctor if they have one. So just to make sure that we're staying on top of the kidney function, keeping good control of the blood pressure. If they have diabetes, making sure that's under control, doing a low salt diet, exercise, et cetera. And so for this study, what we're doing, our study is just kind of, it's very specific just for APOL1 mediated chronic kidney disease. So we're looking for folks that are anywhere from 10 to 65 years old. And typically African American or Afro Caribbean descent, and basically we can give you a number. They can call up and speak with my clinical trial navigators, and we can see about getting you screened to see if you have this or not. And if you do, then, and you'd like to participate in the study, this medication that we're in the third phase of is the only effective medication to treat this. So it's really going to be a game changer for that particular population that has this APOL1-mediated chronic kidney disease. So really excited about it, and just wanted to kind of raise awareness of this disease and the prevalence of it, especially in the African American community.
And what's the number that folks can call?
It's going to be Javara Research, and it's a 912-216-0591.
That's 216
0591.
Okay. I don't want to be a guinea pig, Tom. I don't want to be a guinea pig. I don't be a guinea pig. I don't want to be no guinea pig. Why are you going to make me be a guinea pig?
So look, I understand, where people can, especially with past research in the African American community, how people are skeptical of research studies, and I hate the word guinea pig. I mean, this is a phase 3, so we've already gone through the initial safety of the medication. Then they go through the little bit wider, larger population, and they look at, are we getting the proper dose in here? And then now we're getting into, all right, we know the dose, so we're going to compare it with a larger portion of the population, so we get good numbers, so we can, hopefully get the drug approved to bring to market and help save lives. And like I said, I'm not asking anyone, you don't have to do the study. This is just coming in if you want to just get screened, so because there's a lot of benefit just to knowing this information for you, for your family, and for your doctor. So, and if you did decide, if you were positive and you did want to participate in the study, then we would love to have you, but that's not a prerequisite. I just want to kind of raise awareness of it.
Okay. Representative Collins, Sister Nita, you got anything?
Yes. So how helpful is this medication for those who are already on dialysis? I know that, no, I don't know, because I can't say it. Well, I don't know what the lifespan is for individuals who are on dialysis, but I am aware that the longer you are on dialysis, the more your quality of life declines, and in some rapidly. So would it benefit individuals who are already on dialysis, as well as help change the medical protocols that those who are already diagnosed with diabetes, would it be of help to them?
So the medication will not help those that are already on dialysis. I mean, the kidneys have failed by that time. Getting screened to know that your kidney disease is APOL1 mediated is beneficial, because you can, tell your family members to get screened. So by the time you're on dialysis, it's not going to do much for that particular patient. But if you get screened and you have high blood pressure, for our particular study, we're not doing diabetic chronic kidney disease, because we have to kind of filter out the other causes of chronic kidney disease to make sure that this medicine works. But that doesn't mean that once this drug is approved, that it's not going to be beneficial for those that have diabetic chronic kidney disease, because about 17% of those individuals actually have APOL1 mediated chronic kidney disease as well. So I think they're going to see some benefit with that, but just for this particular study, we have to do, we have to exclude those other causes of chronic kidney disease. But I think once this medicine is brought to market, you're going to see a lot of benefit, and hopefully decrease progression to dialysis and renal transplant.
Well,
Thank you.
Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to come back, and then we're going to have Commissioner Watts, Jazz, anything you want to throw out there. And so we're going to go to a commercial right now. And this is Rontel that we said everyone share, share, share. And again, we're always glad to have you all checking out the show. So bear with me just for a second. And we're going to do this right here. Oh, wait. I'm doing my own commercial tonight.
Come out to Port Wentworth on June 21st and celebrate Juneteenth with us. Bring the kids, your family, and your friends and enjoy a day of entertainment, history, culture, and fun. Don't forget, the Port Wentworth Juneteenth Festival is June 21st in Port Wentworth.
Hello, I'm Richard Coleman, and I'm running for the office of Sheriff of Chatham County. And when I'm elected, I promise to inspect what I expect. Chatham County, it's time for a change, and that change is me, Richard Coleman.
We are back. This is Ron Tell That. We are not in the lab. We're in JL in Justice League headquarters. And we say to all of y'all, share, 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 and support our advertisers. That is Davis, Johnson, Bozeman Law Firms, with offices in Savannah, Atlanta, and Statesboro. In addition, Kim's Cafe at 714 MLK Junior Boulevard. One Price Cleaners located on Highway 80 in the Farmers Market in Garden City. And Shep Food and Gas. Don't ride by, stop by. And that's on the corners of Gwinnett and Style Streets in Savannah, Georgia. And we got Dr. Tom Moriarty, who's a part of a study that's being done here that is pertaining to African people in particular, of West African descent, which means there's many of us right here. And we have Representative Anita Collins out of Brunswick, Georgia, and out of Sapelo and St. Simon's Island, Georgia, we have Commissioner Jazz Watts. So Jazz, what's some of your thoughts? Because you had heard some of the information that was put out by Dr. Moriarty. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, no. First of all, thank you for giving those numbers. I mean, it's obviously significant, in our community when you're talking about this gene. I guess I had a couple questions, but when you talk about the screening, Dr. Moriarty, what does that involve? Is that just like a slight blood draw from people? Because I know now that you can do like with the patches, or what's involved in the screening. I would assume questions and things like that too about family history and things of that nature as well.
Yes. So these research studies, they're very highly regulated. Okay, and so there's always a strict protocol that you have to do. And when I was referring initially to the screening, that is just basically to screen, do you have this gene variant or not? Yes or no? And the person that would be able to be screened through our study is age 10 to 65, does not have diabetes for this study, like I say, because it can't be diabetes as the cause of the chronic kidney disease. And so they would be eligible for initial screen. We would do the swab, and that basically looks to see if you have this gene. A urine test to see if you're spilling protein in the urine, because protein is kind of like if you look at the urine, it's kind of the window into the kidney. And so when you start seeing protein in the urine, you've got some problems with the kidney and you need to look further. So that would be the initial screen. And then there's quite a few inclusion criteria and exclusion criteria after that, that are a little bit much to go into in the show here. But the initial screening would just be, doing the swab to identify if you are a carrier of that gene variant.
Well, I'll follow up too and ask what I'm sure people would be like. Well, what you gonna do with my saliva after I've been, tested? Let's say that you see that I have that particular gene. Is that something that you don't store, and I know with some studies they're destroyed after an amount of time, or you keep them as you do the study? So I think it's just a question there.
Yeah, once the once we have that saliva study, first of all, there are no obvious identifying factors on these. Every patient, we have a number, and so we're really trying to protect the patient privacy. And none of this would obviously be released to any insurance companies or anything like that people would have to worry about. And then the samples themselves, once they're tested for the variant, then they're going to be destroyed.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then, basically, if we find out that somebody has this variant and their protein and they're having protein in the urine, they meet the criteria, my clinical trial navigators will call them. We bring them into the office, go over a 20, 30 page document to read about, what the entire study, involves. And then I sit down and talk with them and answer any questions they have. And then, typically there's a blood draw, and there's a series of visits that'll occur, and the patient gets paid somewhere around $2,500 or $3,000 for the entire study once it's done. So I mean, they're well compensated, but I mean, the whole motivation is, I mean, I want to get people out there. I want to screen. I want them to know if they have this gene variant and be able to take steps to help prevent it from getting worse.
Okay.
And then, of course, I'd love to have the study too, but
yeah, no, thank you for answering that.
And so, how long is the study?
What is the length of? Oh, excuse me.
Go ahead, Sister Nita.
I was just going to ask the duration of the study per individual.
Per individual, yeah. So the actual visits we're looking for around a 4-month duration for the actual visits, and so you'll basically, when we come in, we'll give you a timeline of every visit you would need to do, what it's going to involve, and basically this medication is basically just it's a pill that you take once daily, and there'll be an active drug and a placebo drug, so what's effective.
So what I was going to, and that was a question that Sister Nita posed, and that I said for myself, I know that I'm definitely interested in participating, because some things that you have said that I'm like saying, okay, that is something that I know is impactful, not just to me, but to my family with regards to that. And so, and I'm like, yes, we need to. And so, are you amenable? Is the study just being done here in Savannah, in Chatham County?
No, sir. No, it's a worldwide study. It's a worldwide study, and it's of the diseases, it is a rarer. It's not as prevalent as diabetes as far as chronic kidney disease, but still, 16% of the population is significant. And so I mean, I think it has a wide impact. It's going on worldwide. They've run this study since 2020, and so they're going through the different phases. And right now we're in the phase 3, and we're looking for a total of about 500 participants. And it's so far everything looks very, very promising as far as the reduction in protein in the urine and the maintenance of the kidney function with using this drug in patients that actually have APOL1 mediated chronic kidney disease. So it's going to be a game changer. And I'd love to plug the study, and I'd love to have some people come in, and if we can get you enrolled, that would be great if we meet the criteria. But I was really just wanted to kind of promote the screening process, so people would be more aware of this specific type of chronic kidney disease.
Right, and that's essentially, I should say, looking at participating, doing the screening, and then going from there. So yes, I think that it is relevant for many of us, again, what we say in the area that we're located in. And when you discuss that, when you talk about genetically, that again, it was a part of survivalism when we look at saying from Western Africa and not coming over here. But then with regards to evolution, that you're in different environments now. So then something that was helpful now becomes a problem for us. And we've seen that even with regard to sickle cell traits. And
exactly.
So now we have that happening here. So again, that's why I asked questions about Chatham County. So again, we have two great advocates for the community in coastal Georgia from Savannah down to Camden County, or from Chatham to Camden County, Georgia. So the folks who are in the other areas, how can they participate? How can they be screened? What needs to be done for that?
Okay. So in Savannah, we, basically if you call this number, we can help you get screened. Okay. And, like I said, this is a worldwide study that we're doing. The closest site, though, I still think is going to be Savannah. So you'd be coming in here, but then sometimes, accommodations can be made for transportation, and, so the pharmaceutical companies are very generous in helping people get to the study and participate in the study. So the biggest thing would be to call. We can see if the person meets the criteria to get the screening, and then we can kind of go from there.
And I'm just curious too. Oh, I'm sorry, Sister Anita, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask because I'm thinking of family members that are in the Atlanta area that are in the 10 to 65 age range, as well as family members locally. Would they have to come to Savannah to be screened? Or
we have some other sites throughout Georgia. I'd have to look to see which is the closest, but I know Javara has several sites, and Javara isn't the only research company working with Vertex, but we could certainly, if we call this number, we could find the closest site to you and get you in contact with them.
Very good.
And
as well as in other parts of the country.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
Thank you.
Sure.
And my other quick question too is, so the understanding is that you're doing this study, people have this gene, so the whole idea is to kind of a trial of this drug to see if it can help with prevention, of diabetes, or illnesses related to it. I guess my question is, when these results are published, will they be accessible to participants? As well as communities too. But to those participants, because sometimes people are part of studies, and the researchers publish it, and you just don't get access to it. Or it's talked about in different places, and you may hear about it, but no one ever really circles back. So is that also a part of this process? Because I think that would really be an important part for people that participate in the study.
Yeah, there's not like a set pipeline that you would go directly, once you complete the study, when the medicine's available, that you would go and immediately have access to it. But especially with these rare diseases, the pharmaceutical companies, they do tend to offer patient assistance programs to access the medication and pay for it, because we know they're never cheap, especially the new drugs, especially if you're talking about, drugs that are specific to a smaller group of the population that just have this specific type of chronic kidney disease. But yes, usually the pharmaceutical companies will have, patient assistance programs so you can get access to the medication. But basically, we've gone through, this is the third phase of the trial. And so, they've gone through the initial safety, they've gone through the proper dosing. And now once we get all the data on this larger group of the slice of the population that we're currently looking to investigate, then we'll be able to get the FDA approval and get the drug to market and help patients.
Thank you.
Sure.
So with regards to the study, looking at a conclusion of the study, said by the end of the year, or just 2025?
Probably by the end of the year. Okay, because it depends on how quickly we meet our goals. But like I said, the screening is easier to do. It's just finding the particular candidate for the study because they, like I said, they have to meet these certain criteria.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we only have, as of now, we have 120 people enrolled worldwide. Okay. So, yeah. And so,
Would you repeat that number? You have how many worldwide so far?
120 enrolled worldwide.
Okay.
Phase 3, yeah. So, but it, like I said, it has to be the specific patient to meet the criteria there. So that's why, especially in the Savannah area where we, have with the Gullah Geechee, you have that Western African descent. I think you're going to find a lot of people from that population that's going to have this variant and can benefit from the medicine.
And I was going to ask a question of you. What was one of the surprising things that you found out so far with regards to studying the research going on? But I didn't got surprised when you said that there's only 120 enrolled worldwide.
Yeah.
I'm just the dynamics, and that is from Representative Collins to Commissioner Watts. That again, just the numbers, the sheer numbers that came from West Africa that are here, right here, just in this area and in the Caribbean and worldwide, 120, and we say 16%. I'm like, that's a thimble. Oh my God! So yeah, that's why I think it becomes crucial for folks to want to get screened, but then also to participate, because this is that. Yeah, now I'm understanding the urgency, and so I have to let y'all know, how did this come about? This came about because our former great alderman, Keisha Gibson Carter, said, "Hey, listen, Sam's doctor, that's Coach Carter's doctor, is involved with the study, and you got help with regards to getting the mission out." And I'm like saying, okay. I'm like, yeah, because that's what it's about, health. But now I'm sitting here like, okay, I'm absolutely surprised. 120 worldwide, and knowing the impact from what Representative Collins said to Commissioner Watts said, and with myself, knowing family members and Reverend Johnson out of Hilton Head Bluffton area, so to be here, because he just told my brother's having an issue right now. So yeah. So, but I'm gonna just go back to what I was gonna originally ask you. What were some of the surprising things that you found out so far related to the study and the research that has gone on so far?
Just the degree, so this is kind of the technical speak, but the amount of protein in the urine, from before the drug is given to after, it dropped it by half. I mean, which is very significant. And it greatly reduced the decline in kidney function in those patients that had the APOL1 gene. And so it's just exciting because it's the only medication out there to treat this. I mean, what we have right now just kind of this helps to kind of slow it down, but this is going to help to treat it at the source and prevent the kidney damage, prevent people from going on to dialysis, prevent people from having to have transplants. So it's just it's a really exciting, exciting study to be in. Okay. I've had a couple of studies that have been very, very interesting lately in that they're just novel ideas and novel medications to treat. I have one for diabetes. We have one, the one for the chronic kidney disease, and we have a new one for blood pressure as well. That's coming out. That's just it's a one-time sub-Q injection, and you do that every 6 months. For every 6 to 12 months, and it helps control your blood pressure. So it's exciting times. From my perspective, with these research studies.
Okay. And I had another quick question. How does it work as far as I would assume that if things look promising, it sounds like this is very promising, and I guess you'd have to go through, would it be the FDA or some type of approval? And then between time with that happening, following up on Brother Jamal's question, does it make it easier for people to access medication through insurance if they have insurance, or if they don't, or is that something that happens later between the pharmaceutical company and other companies? I'm just curious.
There will definitely be negotiation, of course, between the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies. Being that this would be the only medication on the market indicated to treat this disease, I was like, they got to cover it, So I'm sure there will be patient assistance programs and stuff that the pharmaceutical company sponsors, but this is the only drug you have to treat it, and this is the disease you have, and it's gonna mean doing a medication versus going on dialysis. The medication is going to be the best bet, and it'll be cheaper for the insurance company in the long run.
Okay. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. We're going to go to another commercial break. We're going to come back. We're going to come right back to you, Sister Nita. And this is Ron Tell That. And again, we say share, share, share.
Share, share, share. Run, tell that. We have some important conversations here.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
We are back. This is Ron Tell That. And we have Representative Anita Collins, Sister Anita Collins out of Brunswick, Georgia. We have Commissioner Brother Jazz Watts out in Sapelo and also St. Simon. So that's Glenn and McIntosh counties. And Dr. Tom Moriarty. This is not Dr. Moriarty from Sherlock Holmes now. This is not the infamous one from Sherlock Holmes.
Not that doctor.
Right.
Not that doctor.
That's right. This is one that is helpful to us.
I'm trying to help people, yes.
And we say share, 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 support our advertisers. Davis Johnson Postal Law Firm, offices in Savannah, Atlanta, and Statesboro. Kim's Cafe, 714 MLK Junior Boulevard. Shep Food and Gas. Don't ride by, stop by. On the corner of Gwinnett and Styles Avenue in Savannah, Georgia. And One Price Cleaners located in the Farmers Market in Garden City on Highway 80. And Sister Anita, Representative Collins, you were going to say something.
I was about to ask Dr. Moriarty a question. For those who participate in the study, how long would they have to take this medication for the rest of their lives?
Not sure at the moment, but more than likely, yes. They're still working on the optimal, dosage. Well, we've got the dosage, but the optimal duration of treatment. So that's what this phase 3 study will help with that.
Okay, and in terms of adolescents, would they, for that population that participates, they would start the medication earlier, or
yes,
would they have other protocols? Okay.
Yeah, they would. From age 10 to 65 is available for screening for this study. and that APOL1 gene mediated chronic kidney disease, in which you're born with it, so you may not need to start the medication initially. I mean, I imagine we would look at, if you start to see signs of kidney disease, where you start seeing protein in the urine, and you see the blood tests start to become elevated, showing that there's a decline in kidney function, then I think you would certainly want to institute therapy with that. But we're not quite there yet. This is just the initial phase 3 for this study. So once they finally go through FDA for final approval, then we'll get a better idea as far as the dosage and duration of treatment.
But they would be monitored.
Yes, ma'am.
Once they are accepted into the study, they would be monitored.
Oh, yes, very, very thoroughly, and you have visits that they'll draw blood and check the protein in the urine to see, because we want to see how effective this is as far as decreasing the protein in the urine, if it's as successful as the previous studies have been.
But I mean, monitor beyond the 4 months duration.
Once they're off of the study, then they won't receive any additional study medication until that medicine's, they'd have to go through their regular doctor, once the medicine's approved for prescribing, once it gets on the market.
Right, but they would be, even once they're no longer under the auspices of the study, by having a follow-up practitioner, there would be some type of follow-up, I would imagine, to help guide that patient, maybe?
Well, yes. So what we would do is kind of like—
I know it may be too early for that to be answered.
Well, I mean, but if we know that the patient has that gene variant and they're affected by this, and they've been enrolled in the study, then we will definitely, communicate that with their primary care doctor, with their nephrologist, because I would like them to start, I want their care providers to know right off the bat that this is what they have, they're involved in this study, and to, keep a close eye on them, follow up regularly, make sure that they are seen regularly and have routine blood tests.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's going on? We have Pastor Johnson, Lewis Johnson of Central Oak Grove Missionary Baptist Church, and also one of the board members for the Hilton Head Gullah Geechee CDC. And glad to have you with us, Pastor Johnson.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah, I had difficulty. Good evening. I apologize for being late. I had Bible study this evening, and I told Jamal that I would get on when I could. So thanks for the invite.
Yes, indeed. And so, Dr. Morati, what we would like, just give a condensed synopsis of what the study is about, what you are doing for Reverend Johnson, because Reverend Johnson, as I shared with y'all, is in the Hilton Head Bluffton area. And again, we understand this is pertinent to us in this corridor, because we have folks from Glenn County, McChise County, Chatham County, and now Beaufort County, South Carolina. I said Beaufort and Jasper County, South Carolina. So if you can give a synopsis of what's going on, so Reverend Johnson be brought to speed somewhat, and then any question that he may have.
Yeah. So the little synopsis we have is, so I'm Tom Moriarty. I'm a family practitioner in Savannah, and I'm working with Javara Research, and we're doing a study on a inherited kidney disease that affects primarily African Americans, and more so those with descendants from Central and Western Africa. And it's called the APOL1 mediated chronic kidney disease. It's inherited. And this study that we're doing is involved in screening for the disease, as well as it's going to be the only treatment that's effective for preventing patients that have APOL1 mediated chronic kidney disease from progressing to dialysis or transplant or worsening kidney function.
So, Pastor Johnson, Any thoughts, any things that you like to pose? Because again, you're Hilton Head, Bluffton area, South Carolina, with ties to Savannah, from Savannah. So anything you want to pose?
Yeah, this is good information. I wish I had it earlier because I had some people that I wanted to be on. I don't know when you're having this again or however we can reach out to you. It didn't seem like it would be. I've got two brothers-in-laws, and the reason I'm on that are already on dialysis. So it seems like this is a something before you get to the point where you're undergoing dialysis. So this is the identify. This is something preliminary to prevent that eventuality. Is that what you're saying?
So, about 16% of the African American population has this genetic variant. Okay, and it was initially this gene variant. From when you're in Central Western Africa, it was a protective mechanism. It helped prevent against African sleeping sickness, a parasitic disease, and that when you have a mother and a father that both have this variant in the gene, then they can have the children that end up carrying these 2+ genes.
Yeah.
And that can make them at risk for chronic kidney disease and possibly kidney failure. And so I just was I wanted to, if you want, we can talk, after the show on this, and I can give you the more specifics on it. But I wanted to kind of raise awareness of as far as screening for this disease, and then and make people aware of the research study that we're doing with Vertex Pharmaceuticals for a medicine to effectively treat this disease.
So what I'm hearing then is how do you identify? Is it a blood test that identify that you are carrying?
It's a cheek swab. So there's a as far as the gene, it's a cheek swab. We also look for a blood test to see what the kidney function is, and then we do some urine tests to see if the person's starting to spill protein in the urine. Because when you have this genetic variant, it makes the kidney cells that do the filtering, they get leaky and they start to spill protein in the urine, and that's often the first sign of kidney disease. And so this medicine that we're studying basically helps to prevent this influx of sodium and chloride and water, which causes these cells to swell and decline in function. It basically shuts off that channel that causes the disease process.
So are there costs associated with the screening that you're talking about?
No, there's no cost associated with the screening. For the study, we're looking at folks that are aged 10 to 65, and for the study purposes, they can't have diabetes. So you can have hypertension, but we don't want to have diabetic chronic kidney disease for this. We have to be able to determine if it's an APOL1 mediated chronic kidney disease and how this medicine affects that disease process. So, African American descent, Afro Caribbean descent is going to be a higher likelihood of having this gene variant. 10 to 65 years old and not a diabetic. You give us a call at the number 912-216-0591, and we can get you set up. You come in, you do a quick cheek swab, $50 for it, and then if you meet the subsequent criteria and decide that you are positive and you decide you want to participate in the study, then we'd love to have you. But
all right, so a couple questions.
Yes.
Window of opportunity.
Now I'm gonna tell you this: you have to be fast with your questions. Be fast with the questions because we about to be closing the show out.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you some questions.
All right, his responses. So I got y'all on here so y'all can connect. That's what's going on too. So yes.
Okay. All right. So I don't want to hold you up. If you're about to end, Jamal, I'll give you the questions. I need to know window of opportunities. If we identify, you say you're Savannah, I'm Bluffton Hilton Head. Do they have to come to Savannah to make this possible? That's the other question.
Yes, but there are, we've made some arrangements with the pharmaceutical company. We might be able to arrange for transportation to Savannah. The participants in the study, they get paid. The initial screen is $30. If you meet the criteria for enrollment, and the gene is positive and you do have it, then it could be up to $2,000 of compensation, plus they help with transportation to and from the facility if needed.
All right. Well, I know your time is short. I'll get with you, Jamal. Get me more information, because if I pass it on to the other pastors, I need to know what I'm saying. I need to be educated.
That's why I got you here, because that's what you're gonna be connected. It's opening the doors. That's why we got the folks in Brunswick, St. Simon, McIntosh. So again, that's what's going on. This is not a one-time shot, and so it's just trying to help with regard to the gene tied to the TC fly, that causes sleeping sickness.
Okay.
And so what he's trying to do, Pastor Johnson, I'm being clear about this right now. And so to Sister Nita, Brother Jazz, he's trying to stop me from being able to drink my sweet tea and my swamp water. He's trying to stop me. That's what he's trying to do. Because when I go to the church, that was the land given by my great granddaddy, that he's trying to stop me from getting the sweet tea and lemonade.
Well, I'm in trouble because I've got some right now on the rocks. Sweet tea and lemonade.
I know that's right. About to go get me some.
I'm in trouble.
I have some with me when I come in.
But what we are going to do, we're going to let y'all pose any thoughts out there, because also think Pastor Johnson, what he said, that with regards to 60% of African Americans, with regards to the trait.
Yeah.
But the worldwide study has only 120 participants for the worldwide study.
Wow.
That's what's going on. So that's why we're doing this clarion call. We felt that you all are important people that cannot get the word out, and then also be able to invite him to come talk about it and possibly get some folks to also participate in the study, and also with regard to the screening. So I'll go ahead and start with Representative Nita Collins. Any thoughts that you want to share? Again, because we got to be brief about it, because we are the little brother show on our Black Media platform. All other shows have telethons and marathons, but we just got 57 minutes. So
this is very helpful, and we will begin to share this information, the telephone number. Thank you so much, Brother Jamal.
All right. Commissioner Watts, Brother Jazz.
No, I echo Sister Collins. Thank you so much for having this. I will share the information. I mean, it's obviously significant, very important to the African American community, especially. So thank you so much for inviting us and having us on the show, and being here also, Dr. Moriarty.
Thank you.
Pastor Johnson.
All right. My apologies again for being late. I've got
We understand.
I've got outreach into 5 different Black churches on the island that I could pass this information on, and the CDC. So I've got connections. So I will definitely do my part to get the information out, the awareness there, to see if they could take advantage of it as well.
Yes,
great.
Sir. And Tom.
Well, I am happy to speak with any of y'all, off camera, if you have any questions about the study or just about this chronic kidney disease in general. So I am very much available to you to answer any questions. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
We're going to make sure the numbers are exchanged. We're going to make sure that happens. So now we come down to the last question on Run Tell That, which is the most important question of all. And the question is this right here. What is the best high school in Savannah, Chatham County, Georgia, or the world for that matter? Jazz, don't hold your head down like that. Jazz, don't do that. So, Dr. Moriarty.
Jenkins.
Not Dr. Sherlock Holmes. What, say it again?
Jenkins.
That's right. Oh, my God. HBJ.
HBJ.
Intelligent man. Yes, indeed.
Well, we got 3 warriors online.
And so, Reverend Johnson, go ahead and say, what do you say, Reverend Johnson?
We got 3 warriors on the line.
Reverend Johnson, oh my God. Julius Hall, do you hear that, Reverend Johnson? HBJ?
HBJ, yeah.
Oh my God. And so, Representative Collins.
Risley High School.
See that? I knew. The Brunswick people, see, I'm going to mute her next time. See, she do this all the time. Brother Jazz, who's been on us 5 times. Brother Jazz.
Oh, well, I'm going to get this right. I'm going to go ahead and say, Glenn Academy. If it wasn't Glenn Academy, it'd probably be Risley. But go ahead and say, yeah, that alma mater right there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know.
This is why we have only 120 people worldwide, because of stuff like that. That type of response. That's the reason why.
No, we're gonna get the numbers up.
That's right. And
We're gonna get the numbers up.
Thank you,
bro. Thank you.
And we
Thank
say,
you, Brother Jamal Toure.
check out all the other shows. And what we're going to do, I'll make sure that the numbers are exchanged so y'all can get with Dr. Moriarty. Also, God's work y'all doing down in Brunswick and McIntyre County and Hilton Head Bluffton. So again, this run tell them, check out the other shows. And again, we'll see y'all next week.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Moriarty. Thank you.
I like that.